Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and a PMDG 777 beta tester. Welcome back to the 300ER, finally in our beloved Flight Simulator 2024. I'm really looking forward to this flight and to have our beauty back in the simulator. But before we start this, a quick word from today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you are looking for an air traffic control add-on and one that's not only capable of your standard IFR flight but also capable of VFR flying, of data link integration, and even offers a couple of very nice gimmicks over that, such as the cabin crew simulation that's actually fed with your SimBrief data so that it actually has the correct departure destination, flight number, aircraft type and so on, then Say Intentions is going to be something for you. If you like it throughout this video, be sure to check it out using the link in the video description below. And now let's get right into our flight. We're standing here in Brussels by Yoke Airland. Who else could create such a beautiful airport, really? And we're going to fly over to Dubai on this classical Emirates route. Now we not just have a lovely new airplane, we also have a lovely new first officer in our 777s. And I honestly gotta say, she really brings the flight deck to life. Just moving around and seeing how different things look when you have an FO in this airplane is just something that really makes the cockpit feel different all of a sudden. It starts to bring it to life. Well, and of course she is also going to do a little bit of a job for us today. Now, starting with the basics though, let's get that ADRU running and then let's head right down into our electronic flight bag and download our flight plan from SimBrief. Now, if we scroll all the way down in our OFP, we will find our en route charts and we can see that it's initially going to be more or less a straight line, slight knick, and then we are going to follow the Iranian border all the way down to Dubai. A little bit of weather in the first hour and a half maybe down here, some turbulences, and then once again a little bit of turbulence in southern Iraq, but we should be able to overfly this hopefully. In terms of airport weather, we are looking at good conditions. Brussels is showing very good weather, Dubai is also pretty good, and our alternate Al Maktoum has a little bit of dust over our arrival time with some chance for low-lying clouds, but overall very good weather conditions. Looking at the top of the plan, if we depart on time, we're going to arrive on time. We are not critical with any of our weights, flying level 350 initially and 370 later on. Now, if we go a little bit further down into the fuel section, we can see that our minimum is 52.8 plus 500 taxi, so basically 53.3 is the minimum. However, we're arriving in prime time in the morning in Dubai. That means there is some chance for holding, so I want to take 20 minutes on top, plus whatever it takes to transport this, so basically 2.5 on top. Now, with that in mind, let's go into the weight and balance app, download our SimBrief data, precise loading, and taking 2.5 on top over here, let's round it, 56 tons. And that's what we need on today's flight. Right, with that out of the way, let's start setting our aircraft up. So the oil quantity is actually looking okay. Something that I've probably forgotten to do earlier is aircraft load from another, and we are of course sitting in the Echo November Echo. Let's load that one. Here we go. Alright, so oil quantity is okay. Then the hydraulic quantities are good, APU oil is okay, oxygen is okay. Let's do the oxygen test right now, not just on our side but also on hers. And then we do have the recall, and over here everything is showing well. Now let's head to the com page, down into the flight information, do our ATIS request for Brussels, and send. Well, and with that done, we can go right into our FMS. 777-300 GE90 engine, current nav database. We will use the GPS position and we will start our uplink down here. While that's in progress, we'll go back into the EFB and into the charts and we can start to pin our departure charts. So we do have the airport over here, the parking stands over here, and then we can go all the way down for the SIDS, and we've got the Sopok 3 Golf right over here. So Let's have a look. The 8 is just arrived. Information Foxtrot. Wind 330 at 9, few in 4000, 17 degrees, QNH 1020. Alright, let's go ahead and enter that one. 1020. And over here as well. 1020. Wonderful. So, that much about the ADAS. Then let's see. Departing runways 25 right and 01. And some VFR stuff that only belongs into the States. Alright, so 25 right, SOPOC departure. So that's going to be the SOPOC 3 Golf departure down here. And then into Dubai ILS 30 left. ULDA transition and VUTEP 3 Charlie arrival. Let's go ahead and activate that and do a cross-check. Alright, so we're going from Brussels to Dubai, Emirates 182. The routing is via the SOPOC 3 Golf to SOPOC, Yankee 163 Oglo, direct MGOT, Lima 607 Ulnok, direct VBOM. Then we have Nombo, Rida, Gomik, Gota, Babit, Tizak, Mavit, Razup, Artat, Uniform Papa 975 Echo Zulu Sierra. Then we have Uniform Golf Otcap, Uniform Mike 688 Radvo, Mike 688 towards Sidat, Papa 975 Cesru, Mike 677 Vutap. And that is all correct. Then let's go ahead and have a look at our departure chart. Here it is. So straight ahead to 1700, left turn towards Holdenburg above flight level 60, and we have that. Then we continue via waypoints 102 and Bullocks, and thereafter to flight level 170. You don't see that very often. Track to altitude waypoint right in the middle of a sit. But here it is. Let's see how the 777 is going to handle that. And thereafter it's going to be a right-hand turn into SOPOC above flight level 240. So that's all looking good in our FMS. Then let's go ahead and load our winds. The same for the descent winds down here. Let's have a look at the distance. 2960 versus 2972. Very good. We have no hard-tuned nav aids. That's fine. And Brussels goes into the fixed info page with a 25-mile ring for our MSA awareness. So transition altitude 4,500, and in here it's 4,500 as well. And then we can head over into the performance uplinks. 6.2 reserves, that should be more or less fine, but let's just have a look. So that's 3,000 plus 3,300, yeah, 6.3 if we just want to round it generously. Alright, level 350 is correct, Costinix 59 is correct, temperature, minimum fuel temperature minus 44, cruise CG 30, Emirates always uses that, and then we are going to turn this into a noise abatement procedure number 1, because we want to make that initial turn here as early as possible. There's no sense flying fast into the wrong direction. And there's the city of Brussels right over here. I don't want that lengthy sit through the north, so I'm fairly happy to do it this way. Alright, and that's basically our FMS setup done. So let's put the UFT away and start our cockpit inspection. Up here, everything's set. Over here, everything is set. Again, if you are looking for a very detailed guide on how to do all these, my 777 ebook is finally almost finished and will be out very soon. So if you're interested, then more information will be available on that very, very soon. And this time I really mean it, my friends. Okay, nonetheless, let's go ahead and start to finish our preparation here. Come on, that click spot was a bit annoying. So, frequencies. What do we need down here? Let's have a look. So, airport. Delivery is on 121.955. Like this, and then we have two ground frequencies in Brussels. There's the north ground over here, and then there's south ground over here. So 121.880 should be ours. So 12188, transmit left, listen left and right, flight interphone and PAs. Weather and turbulence down here, you get the cabin interphone. 121.5 on the right hand radio, like this, and you will listen to the same. TCAS above, squawk 2000, and of course in the standby. Well, and that's it for our setup so far. So then let's go ahead and go back into the comms. We have information Foxtrot on board. Let's request our clearance before we start the briefing. So departure clearance request, EBBR. That's going to be the facility. Emirates 182, facility Brussels, from Brussels to Dubai. Atus Foxtrot, gate 233 Romeo. And good evening. Alright, so far so good. Let's go ahead and send this one. Perfect, and while we're waiting for the clearance, let's go ahead and start the briefing. So, departing Brussels, runway 25 right, Sopok 3 Golf departure, initial, most likely something around flight level 60, MSA 2200, and extra fuel and time. Yes, we have some, namely 2000 kilos on top when we arrive there, giving us 20 minutes. So what's that? Request received, being processed, standby. Roger. Oh, and here it is. Sopok 3 Golf 25 right is confirmed. We'll talk about the rest in a few moments. Let's first finish up our part of the briefing, but I will just hit accept already. Alright, cool. So, 25 right. That means there is a little hotspot going up here because of the intersection with runway 19. Let's take the Bravo 3 figures. That should be on the conservative side. That should still leave us plenty of stop margin as well. In case of an engine failure, the EO sit is straight at to 25 miles. Climbing 3000, 2200 keeps us safe, as you've correctly said. There is nothing that prevents us from coming back straight away. 20 tons above the max landing weight, so really not an issue. We can just do the overweight landing checklist and come back. Otherwise, it takes about 20 minutes to dump the fuel, just so that we have that ballpark figure in our minds. 25 left, 25 right, both available and in use. Now, I don't have anything special for this flight. I have nothing non-standard for this flight. Do you see any threats? No? Okay. So that's our briefing completed. Then let's have a look into the clearance. So, clear to Dubai, Sopok 3 Golf. That's confirmed. Maintain 6000. Departure on 127.575. And squawk 6235. Alright, expect runway 25 right, and 25 right is confirmed. Alright, so that's our clearance confirmed. Very good, then we can do the pre-flight checklist. Oxygen, test at 100%, flight instruments, heading 333, altimeter 1020, reading 140, set left, set right, pre-flight checklist complete. Alright, very good, so boarding should be completed by now. Let's go ahead and start closing up. So ground up, service vehicles, release all, door management, close all, GSX, prepare for pushback and departure please. Alright, excellent. So with all of that going on, let's go ahead and say hello to our passengers. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. From the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Emirates, I would like to welcome you on board our Boeing 777-300ER on our flight to Dubai. Today's flight time has been calculated at 6 hours. We expect a little bit of turbulence in the first hour and a half to 2 hours of our flight. Thereafter, a smooth ride over to Dubai. The weather over there is excellent, clear skies, temperatures in excess of 30 degrees all day long. We would like to thank you very much for being our guests. We will get back to you with the latest weather when we start our approach, but in the meantime, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. Cabin crew, all doors in flight. Alright, doors are armed, then let's go ahead and do our performance figures. So, zero fuel weight, 217.9. And that gives us a gross weight of 273.9, which is okay. Wonderful. Then let's go on into the performance tool and grab the weather. So, review ATIS. Brussels, runway 25 right. Then we wanted a Bravo 3 departure. Let's find the airport info chart. Here we go, 25 right, Bravo 3, 2,760 meters. Here we go, so takeoff weight, let's say 274, that keeps us safe. And the CG is at 32. Alright, for the weather we have the wind 330 at 9, the temperature is 17 and the QNH 1020. Calculate, and that's full takeoff at 47 degrees. Like this, flaps 5, 32 CG, takeoff speed 160, 166, 173. And that's looking very good. Perfect, so that's everything entered. And with that out of the way, let's zoom this into the moving map. And then we can go ahead and call for our ground clearance. So ground from flight deck. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed, and we're clear to pressurize the hydraulic systems. All confirmed, Captain. Alright, thanks. So we are pressurizing and calling for pushback clearance. Stand by. Okay, right system first. And surprise, we do not have any fuel in the center tank. Who would have thought that? So, before start checklist. Flight deck door is closed and locked. MCP V2173, heading 244, altitude 6000. Takeoff speeds V1 160, VR 166, V2 173. Takeoff speed, CDU pre-flight completed. Trim 3.75 units, 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed, holding a beacon. So let's get ATC clearance. Brussels delivery, Emirates 182, request startup. I should probably have called for push as well.
Emirates 182, startup approved. Contact ground on 118.055 for taxi instructions.
Startup approved 118.055 Emirates 182. Perfect, exactly what they're supposed to do. So let's get pushback clearance. Brussels ground, Emirates 182 heavy, request pushback.
Emirates 182, pushback approved. Face northeast.
Pushback approved, face northeast, Emirates 182. So ground, we're clear to push, facing northeast, park and brake set. Thanks, release brakes. Brake released, clear to push, and we're waiting for your signal to start the engines. Roger. So, look at that. Just about the last couple of rays of the sunset are still there. Of course, I forgot to release the chocks in here. That's something that the ground crew is supposed to do. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard.
And with that, off we go.
Departing from Brussels to Dubai. We are thrilled to have you with us today. My name is Khadija, and on behalf of the entire crew, I would like to introduce our Captain Emmanuel and our First Officer. Joining us in the cabin today are my fellow crew members, Aisha, Omar, Fatima, and Khalid. We expect a flight time
Absolutely beautiful lighting conditions, aren't they? So we're clearing the roads. Clear to start engines 1 and 2 in that very sequence.
Pull the mask towards you to start the
And
flow of
left
oxygen.
engine start.
Place it over your nose and mouth and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to put your mask on first before assisting others. For your safety, we have multiple emergency exits on this Boeing 777-300ER. There are 2 doors at the front, 2 overwing exits, and 2 doors at the rear of the aircraft. Please take a moment to locate the nearest exit, which may be behind you. In the event of an emergency, follow the illuminated exit signs. Additionally, life vests are located under your seat. To use them, pull the vest out, place it over your head, and pull the straps around your waist to secure. Inflate the vest by pulling the red tabs or by blowing into the tubes. We will now begin our pushback from the gate. Please ensure your seat backs and tray tables are in their upright positions.
So it looks like number 1 is starting up just fine.
Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a pleasant flight.
And the push is complete
Captain,
set brakes.
the cabin is ready for departure.
Brake set, and we've got a good start on the left, starting right. Look at those wonderful lights. So just pre-selecting a couple of those lights already. Okay, ground. 2 good engine starts, clear to disconnect. Shown with the pin on the left side. Please have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. So there he is. He's holding a pin in his hands, and that's the clear signal received. So flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral. Rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Only the TCAS in the recall. So, before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto, recall, checked. Flight controls, checked. Ground equipment, clear. Before taxi checklist complete. Emirates 182 Heavy, request taxi.
Emirates 182, unable. Contact the appropriate controller for taxi instructions.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's try 12188. Or actually, we might have been on the wrong frequency here. Emirates 182, request taxi. That's probably going to work a little bit better.
Emirates 182. Taxi to runway 25 right via Tango. Outer 8, outer 7.
Taxi to hold at 0.25 right via Tango, outer 8, outer 7, Emirates 182. Okay, so let's see. Tango is going to be right up there. So Tango straight ahead, then the 2 outer taxiways, all the way to the holding point up there. That's fine with me. Perfect. Clear right side, clear left side. Brake released. And then let's go. Something that's new with the 300ER is that it now actually starts rolling forward due to the excessive idle thrust. This is completely in idle, and that's exactly what the real airplane would do. It does actually start to pick up some speed at those intermediate weights here. Only when you're in excess of 300 tons, that is when the airplane is no longer going to accelerate on idle, and PMDG does now reflect that. So we're on the tangos over here. Let's head second left. And this is just about the right direction. So, outer comes next. That's over here, outer 8. We're slightly over 10 knots, that's why I'm just cutting the corner a little bit here. Okay, cabin is ready. I like it. So, in terms of the takeoff briefing, it's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 25 right, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 1, speeds 160, 166, 173, and the initial climb is flight level 60. Contact departure 127575 when advised by ATC, MSA 2200, and in case of engine out, straight at 25, climbing 3000. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? Nothing? Wonderful. Before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist complete. That's how I like it. So, tower will most likely be on 18605. Just pre-selecting that already. Okay, so from here on, Bravo 3 is to the left. That's what we've calculated. But in the absence of any other clearance, we will continue to the holding point over here. Let's start slowing down gradually already. So, 25 right to the left, that's what it says on the sign there. Takeoff run available, 3267.
Emirates 182,
perfect.
contact tower on 118.605, so long.
118.605, Emirates 182. Brussels Tower, Emirates 182 Heavy, ready for departure.
Emirates 182, Brussels Airport Tower, runway 25 right, winds 330 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff, Emirates 182. Cabin crew, prepare for departure.
Approaching runways.
Checked, approach sector is clear, and the left side, as far as we can see, is clear. So, I'm ready to make it rolling. And the runway is most definitely clear. So, timing and takeoff.
On runway 25 right.
That's intentional. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set.
80 knots.
Checked.
V1.
Rotate. Ooh, little gust here.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. $400. Just
Emirates
wow,
182,
this looks so
contact
good.
departure on 127.575.
127.575, Emirates 182. Okay, autopilot on. Brussels control, Emirates 182 heavy passing 2600, climbing flight level 60.
Emirates 182, Brussels departure identified. Climb via the SID.
Climbing via the SID, Emirates 182. So it did not clear us to any higher altitudes. Flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. I have a feeling that I know pretty much exactly what the banner for this video is gonna be. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. Just looks fantastic, doesn't it? Approaching, vertical speed, and the flaps are up. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete. Set standard. Standard thrust check, passing flight level 45. Now. Checked. $1,000 to go. So, clearance to a higher level would be appreciated. Let's see what we're going to have at Bullocks. Just about 170. If we get further climb clearance now. Well, let's call him. Emirates 182, request higher. Alt. VNAV.
Emirates 182.
Emirates 182, request further climb.
Emirates 182, climb flight level 350.
Emirates 182, climb flight level 350. Okay, here we go. So, set 350 checked, and then we can continue our climb. So, as you can see, LNAV is actually drawing this correctly, so after Bullocks it continues on that heading until reaching 17,000, and only then it starts the right-hand turn to Sobok. Pretty much exactly as it should. Looking excellent. Let's see if we can get any good shortcut here. He's probably only going to be able to clear us to Sobok because of airspace restrictions, but let's try that nonetheless. Emirates 182, request to proceed direct Sobok.
Emirates 182, proceed direct to park.
Proceed direct Sobok, Emirates 182. Okay, wonderful. So, 9 degrees inside clouds. Engine anti-ice might come on. It's unlikely, to be honest. Normally icing doesn't happen when it's that warm. It can happen, that's why you do turn it on. In an airplane that does not have automatic anti-icing, the 777 has, so no problem whatsoever over here. Alright, passing 10,000. So, let's just wait with the cabin until we're actually clear of the clouds. Okay, so everything's done. Recommended 350, that's what we're going to go up to. So, ATC, lock on, Echo Delta, probably going to be Rhine radar straight away, so let's send that. Send. Well, my friends, and that's all I can offer you for the time being. So, at the moment, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And if anything interesting happens, I will absolutely get back to you. Otherwise, enjoy a beautiful and calm night flight to Dubai. maintaining 2,000 feet.
Emirates 182, Minhas approach. Identified. Good morning, Dubai. QNH 998. Expect the ILS. Runway 30 left approach into Dubai.
QNH 998, expect ILS 30 left into Dubai, Emirates 182. Set QNH. QNH 1012 cross-checked, maintaining, well, 11,950. Alright, and with that we are basically starting the approach. Our previous clearance was to descend via the arrival. That means we can basically go down to 8,000 up next. So let's put the plane back into VNAV path and then we can start our approach briefing. So let me show you what I've set up over here. Our arrival is going to be the VTAP 3 Charlie, and we are already cleared for that one by air traffic control. Basically, that arrival leads us right into a northern downwind, as you can nicely see on the chart down here. Now from there we are going to receive radar vectors for the ILS approach runway 30 left.
Emirates 182, descend altitude 8000, QNH 908.
Emirates 182, descend altitude 8000, QNH 998. And 8000 is checked. Alright, and that's the plan. Now, the runway itself is almost 4.5 kilometers long. We'll get to all the details when we do the approach briefing. For the time being, let me quickly say goodbye to our passengers, and then we will continue with the remainder of our briefing. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. From the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent towards Dubai, and the remaining flight time is now very much dependent on the traffic between 15 to 20 minutes. The weather in Dubai, clear skies, temperatures already in the ranges closing 30 degrees. We do hope you had a comfortable night on board our Boeing 777, and we hope to see you all again on board of a future Emirates flight. In the meantime, we wish you a nice day in Dubai, if applicable a nice and safe continuous journey, and hope to see you all again soon. Cabin crew, prepare for landing. Alright, so let's start the briefing. Now, we have an MSA of 3,800 the highest, so 4,000 all around is going to keep us safe. The arrival itself is the VTAP 3 Charlie arrival for an ILS approach runway 30 left. No hotspots for taxiing and extra fuel and time. Let's have a good look down here. Currently 10 tons versus a minimum of 6.3, giving us about half an hour extra. Doesn't look like we'll have to hold for the moment. Alright, so that's pretty good so far. Now this is going to be an ILS approach with flight director guidance. Let me quickly get the sun shades up because the sun is really getting low now. So this is going to be an ILS approach with flight director guidance. We are going to fly this one down to a minimum of 260 using flaps 30, auto brakes 2, maximum reverse, and vacate the runway to the left hand side. They normally want us to come off via the first rapid exit taxiway, so that's going to be either Kilo 9 or Kilo 8. I do guess Kilo 8. Quite a couple of hotspots here on the way in. Most importantly, we just got to make sure that we actually don't run into anything there. I mean, look at that. They have a dedicated page just for the hotspots. So, careful with our taxiways. We're parking up here on Apron Foxtrot, I do think all the way up here at the very edge. Now, that's pretty much all I have over here. I don't have any threats, I don't have any hotspots, except for those that we just talked about, and I don't have anything non-normal. Anything from your side? No? Wonderful. So that's our briefing completed. Then let's do the descent checklist, please. Recall checked, notes checked, auto brake level 2, landing data, we're 3142, minimum Sparrow 260 set left, set right, and approach briefing completed, descent checklist complete. Passing 10,000, lights on, we don't need the logo lights anymore, signs are on.
Captain, cabin is ready.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our final approach into Dubai, we kindly ask you to turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Please ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened. Once we land, our Emirates staff will provide you with information regarding your connecting flights. Thank you for your cooperation.
Just look at this. Beautiful airplane arriving on a beautiful city in a beautiful morning sunrise. What else can you possibly ask for? Absolutely wonderful. I could sit here and watch that all time long. But I'm afraid we might have a little bit of work to do, so let's get right back into the cockpits. 1,000 to go. So, heading 129 is right up here. So far, so good. Cabin ready is already received. Wonderful. Approach checklist, please. Altimeters. QNH 998. Set left, set right. Approach checklist complete. Look at this. Can we get a proper screenshot here with the first officer on this? This is the kind of picture that you want for your Tinder account, isn't it? So, we can go onto the train on both sides here, even though train isn't really going to be an issue either. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. That's one of the things with the 777. It doesn't protect you against going below the flap reference speeds. It doesn't do that. So, got to be careful there. If you have a 300, especially a heavy one, that stuff can happen. So let's see, waypoint 530 has a 7,000 below restriction. We'll see whether we are going to obey that or not, but that's totally in the hands of air traffic control. We have nothing to say. But they know what they're doing here in Dubai. This is probably the least place that would get me worrying in all of the Arabian world. There are some places where I'd be a little bit careful, but Dubai is definitely not among them. So, there's our airport. It always looks so strange to see the pitch of these aircraft here. A330 is a prime candidate for that as well. Pitching at about, 7.5, 8 degrees when you're in config 1 and down at the S speed. Looks like the 777 isn't much better. So, how many miles are we going to fly? Probably... Well, I don't think they're going to turn us to final modus. Even though they could, 2,000. So we'd have a minimum of 10 miles. In those we can easily lose 6,000 feet, so we could actually make it if we went straight in now. And that means anything else is not critical. As a general rule of thumb, the 777 normally works very well on the 3-to-1 rule, so 3 nautical miles for 1,000 feet. But with the speed brake, you can halve that. You can halve the distance to descent and you can double the rate of descent. So that's really easy going with the 777. Really, really easy going. So, shall we ask for radar vectors? Emirates 182, request radar vectors.
Emirates 182. 182 unable. Contact the appropriate controller for radar vectors.
I'm once again transmitting on the wrong frequency there. Emirates 182, request radar vectors.
Emirates 182, descend altitude 3000, turn left heading 090 vectors for the ILS runway 30 left approach.
Emirates 182, descend altitude 3000, turn left heading 090, vectors ILS 30 left. Okay, extend the center line from SATPO. Yep, that's looking good. Execute. Let's help it a bit. Get that speed brake
Emirates
out.
182, turn right heading 140.
Emirates 182, turn right heading 140. Sometimes you still need to help say intentions a bit in order to get you onto
Emirates
those
182,
vectors.
continue on heading 140.
Continue on heading 140, Emirates 182. But once you are on vectors, it usually works quite well.
Emirates 182, 5 miles from Setpo. Turn right heading 225, descent altitude 2000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 30 left approach.
Emirates 182, turn right heading 225, descent altitude 2000, cleared ILS 30 left approach. Okay. So, they could have given us one more vector. Like, that turn is looking quite good over here, but they could have given us something like heading 270 to intercept. I think I am going to do that myself here. And that is of course a feedback that I will definitely send to the developers here. So that's actually looking pretty good. Let's continue on to heading 270. And then we'll intercept it from there. Here we are approaching the glide slope. That's looking very good. 14 miles final. Okay, yeah, the speed brake is in. So, heading is looking very good. Approach round. Flaps 5. Speed checked. Flaps 5.
Emirates 182, contact Dubai Tower on 118.75.
118.75, Emirates 182. Dubai Tower, Emirates 182, ILS 30 left. Localizer capture.
Emirates 182, Dubai Tower.
Vertical speed.
Roger.
Alright, let's tidy that flight deck up. Looking excellent. Glide slope capture. Go around altitude 3000 sets. Alright, let's have some fun.
2500.
Checked. Okay, gear down, flaps 20.
Emirates 182, Dubai Tower, winds 100 at 6. Runway 30 left, cleared to land.
Runway 30 left, clear to land, Emirates 182. Flaps 30. Okay, so we are clear to land. The flaps are coming. Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. Okay, so such a beautiful sight. And I just totally love those early morning arrivals. The sim just looks amazing with those. Checked.
Approaching 30 left.
Fully intentionally. Checked. Look at the true airspeed there. That temperature really has an effect. Continue. Speed break up, thrust reverse normal. %, reverse.
1,500
Looks like
meters
we're missing kilo 8,
remaining.
that's fine, I'm not going to force it.
1,200 remaining. 900
Emirates
remaining.
182, welcome to Dubai. Contact ground on
Manual brakes.
118.35.
118.35, Emirates 182.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at Dubai International Airport. What an excellent landing it was, rated an 8 out of 10. The local time here is 5:54 a.m.
If my cabin crew ever makes an announcement rating my landing like that, I will have a very interesting discussion with them afterwards.
The tallest building in the world. Thank you for flying with Emirates today. Please remain seated until
Okay,
you reach the
so
final parking position. On
let's
behalf
vacate
of
that
the captain
runway, and then we
first
just
officer
quickly gotta
and the
find our
entire
parking
crew,
chart.
including Aisha, Omar, Fatima, and Khalid.
Dubai ground, Emirates 182, request taxi to gate Foxtrot 5.
Emirates 183, taxi to gate F5, via Kilo 6, Kilo.
Emirates 182, taxi gate Foxtrot 5 via Kilo 6 and Kilo. Alright, we vacated over here Kilo 6 and then via Kilo all the way to Fox 5. Very nice, even I can do that. So let's delay the start of the APU a little bit, save some fuel. So, GSX is not working. Okay, lovely. Restarting Coatl in the background. Right then, so Foxtrot 5 should be to the right of that A380 over there. There isn't any after landing checklist in the 777, so we are easily done with this. So just gotta get the aircraft into the gate and then we can call it a day. Or a morning, a night, as you want to take it. Starting APU. So let's try GSX one more time. That's better. So, Foxtrot 5. No follow me needed. Then we can close this. That's 7 to the left. Fox 6, we go one further. And shut down engine 2. Okay, Fox 5, here it is. Engine shutdown right, that's checked. Lights off. And the weather radar is off. So, 77 whiskies on the guidance. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Love it. So, APU running and shutdown. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, both engines shut down. And shutdown checklist. Park and brake. Set. Shutdown checklist complete. Then let's go for GSX. Request the deboarding. Alrighty, so let's do the standard Dubai ops here. Ground power request. Air conditioning unit request. And when that's coming, we can shut down those packs. Power is here as well. APU going off. I like it. Alright, beautiful. So, door management. Disarm all. Open 1 left, open 2 left. The sim only supports 1 jetway, but in the real world you'd most definitely get both of them. Well, and with that, welcome to Dubai. Couple of post-flight checks over here. Hydraulic quantities are looking good. APU is shutting down. Let's see about the engine oil quantities. Down at 20, so we definitely have to refill them before the next flight. Okay, let's see about the fuel used. That is 45.9, and the plant fuel used would have been, look at that, 45.7. We used only 200 kilos extra. That's the accuracy of a PMDG aircraft. I totally love it. Absolutely do. Right, cool. Then we can shut all of this down. And do the secure checklist, please. So, packs off. Secure checklist complete. Well, my friends, and that is everything that I could offer you today. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. I'm really looking forward to it. As always, I do hope you enjoyed the flight. I also hope you enjoyed the impressions that I could give you on the data link functionality with Say Intentions AI. And last but not least, a little bit of feedback on Say Intentions as well, since this was actually a fairly decently managed flight. Not just to say fairly decently, but it was actually a very enjoyable flight. Radar vectoring to final was pretty good. It did turn us slightly to the left, but that's totally fine. Probably wanted to give us a couple extra track miles since we weren't descending very quickly. But apart from that, very, very well done. So, a thoroughly enjoyable flight. As always, I do hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. And if there is anything you got any questions about, if you are interested in Say Intentions, be sure to check out the link in the description below. In the meantime, as always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and finally, we have that 300ER back in the best simulator.